Namaskar. This is Sumit Roy here and welcome to Metaphysical Bharat. आज हम लोग बात करेंगे एक topic called Vasana, and the word Vasana is mentioned in the text of Buddhism. And if you get into any ancient text, the Vasana is something which is being referred many times. So what does it signifies and what actually it has to talk about in our general life, उसको आज उसमें थोड़ा सा हम लोग चर्चा करेंगे. छोटा सा वीडियो है बट काफ़ी गूढ़ बात है. वासना में एक वर्ड है वास. वास मीन्स समथिंग विच इज वास करना, that we abide by, that we live by, that we dwell, and that is something which is lingering. It doesn't go away. And as per the Indian knowledge system, the Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, we have something in our mind that lingers, that doesn't go away. And anything that doesn't go away has certain kind of a weight. And this weight is something that we carry in our own life. And it is being said that Vasana is something that we not only develop and carry in this life, it is something that we are carrying from our past life, that is called karmic dimension. And in the Bhagavad Gita, it is being mentioned that Sri Krishna says that no matter whatever you are, we have to abide by the qualities that we have imbibed because of our past action. And at the same time, it is being seen that though we are all product of past actions, but also we are producer of future action. And there comes the dimension where you can cut through the clutter of the Vasana. Now, Vasana can be of two types. One is something which is Ashubh Vasana, which lingers and doesn't allow us to progress in our life. And there can be good Vasana also, good desires also, like desire to get enlightened, desire to know something. These are all good Vasanas. So Vasana, of course, has got a very negative connotation that something it is bad. Yes, it is bad, definitely, because we tend to delve and dwell more into the lingering, which doesn't allow us to cut through the dense jungle of something that pulls us down. So it can be anything to do with lust, or it can be to do with craving of food, or it can be of pleasures, or anything which is a bodily enjoyment. And we think that, yes, that is something that we are trying to get bliss. But those pleasures are something which is temporary. It cannot give us a lasting peace that actually we are aiming for. And we tend to gravitate towards those vasanas. The question is, how do we get out of the vasana? So I'll just give you a couple of pointers which you can think about. So one is called Atma Vichar. Atma is something which is within, and to what extent we can do a contemplation that, I think I'm getting craved towards too much of watching reels, or too much of getting into jokes, or too much into very trifle things, because that gives me certain kind of a dopamine boost. And that boost is only lingering for a certain time. And then I go and I catch hold of something which is a reel, which is a joke and which is some trivial thing. It may motivate us for a second, but again, we feel that we have a hunger for that. So our hand goes very impulsively to the mobile, and we keep on watching it again and again. So these are all vasanas that is lingering. And we need a higher dose of dopamine to sustain that kind of a motivation. So once I know that actually my hand is moving towards a mobile or anything which is giving me certain kind of a temporary pleasure. So, once I know that, that is called as the Atma Vichar. That is one. Second is Shakshi Bhav. Shakshi Bhav is that kind of a bhav where I am trying to become a witness towards my bhavana, towards my feeling and towards my thought process. And once I know my thought process, I am much more aware of it. And once I'm aware of it, then I can take an action. Because Indian text says that the entire goal of life is to move from asatoma sadgamaya. That is, we are moving from unreality to the reality. Now, these vasanas act as a layer. They act as a coating, which doesn't allow us to see the reality. And these vasanas becomes, over a period of time, they become a dense, actually, to a large extent. So we are talking about Atma Vichar, we are talking about, second is Shakshi Bhav, and the third dimension that we can develop is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Now, Pratipaksha Bhavana is we are trying to counter the very Vasana with approach or a thought which is very opposite to that Vasana. For example, I have a craving for an ice cream. I have a craving for too much of watching into a mobile reels. And once I know that I'm having a craving for ice cream, I'm a craving for something sweet, I'm a craving for certain thing which is giving me pleasure, and can I replace that with something which is counter? So probably instead of having a sweet, I can take a glass of water, or I can go for a walk. And once I come back, I can take a lemon water, which is much more refreshing. Okay, so it is a thought, and it is also an action. We are talking about Pratipaksha Bhavana. So it is Bhavana plus action. So I'm trying to replace something with something which is much more better. And once I do it, actually, it repeatedly, it actually becomes much more and much more effective. But the Vasana is something which actually holds us. It doesn't allow us to go to the next dimension of our thought. Now let's understand from a neuroscience perspective. Neuroscience is basically where you are trying to understand the neurons and their interconnections and their reinforcement. Now, what is happening is that to what extent do we have this neural awareness? And ultimately, we're all product of neural firing, and we tend to have certain kind of a network that we have developed. And once you reinforce those network, then this vasanas gets very strong, and they get their strength from that. So one is something which is called as an Hebbian learning, and this Hebbian learning is something, it says that the neurons that wires together fires together. So the moment you are into a vasana and you are giving a food to it, and you are acting on it, you are actually reinforcing it. So because our brains are neuroplastic, they are actually plastic. So when you dwell, the vasana itself means dwelling. So the more we dwell, the more it gets reinforcement. And that leads to something called long-term potentiation. So our neurons are, whatever they are, is because of our thoughts, and our thoughts are getting food because of our action. And once that happens, then we are unable to really break that particular pattern. The question comes is that to what extent we become aware about awareness, and that is called meta-awareness. So one is awareness, that means you are aware, but that is not the whole story. So once you become aware, what is required is to act on your awareness. I think to a large extent, we don't have that kind of a motor action. So once you convert your awareness into an action, which is immediate, you get up from your seat, you get up from your bed, you get up from your specific geography, you go out and you act on it. And that will help you to really to reinforce or to capitalize and maximize your meta-awareness. Otherwise, meta-awareness is just 50%. So this particular video will give you a lot of awareness about awareness, which is a meta-awareness. One point I'll tell you to really cut off the vasanas, negative vasanas, that can be a good vasana also, and you need to really follow that. So can you take up a pen and pencil once this video is over? We've seen this video. Can you list down at least 10 vasanas which is crippling you? It can be any craving. It can be sweet, or it can be too much of watching a video which is not so productive. You can always watch productive videos. It can be too much of indulgence in food. It can be too much of indulgence in gossip. It can be too much of indulgence in doing nothing. So can you write down 10, just 10, and write down those in priority. And once you do that, then you are becoming aware. And once you're becoming aware, you take an action on that. And once you take an action, you are going to the next 50%. So 50% is awareness and 50% is an action. And see to it that these actions are being repeated long enough. It is not that something that you do in one day. And if you act on it, you'll find that your vasanas, negative vasanas, are actually going away. Because it is very easy to catch off the negative vasana and continue your positive vasanas actually. And the more you are dwelling in something which is good, you will find that, yes, there is a lot of excitement in there. And slowly all your negative vasanas will go away. So stay connected. And I would love you people to really watch this video and till end. And I'm sure this is a short video, but I have given you a lot of inputs in terms of Atma Vichar Shakshi Bhavna and Pratipaksha Bhava, and your neural network in terms of meta-awareness, and secondly is your action. And once you continue it, you will find a certain kind of a developmental dimension will be bringing in your life, and that will actually help you to pave the path of your own destiny, because life is actually in actualization, and this actualization happens because you are able to come out of your negative vasana. And vasana, as I say, it is dwelling, and this dwelling is something that dwells for our entire lifetime. So is there any way? The way is awareness, and second is an action, and an action has to be continued. I hope you have liked the video. Do comment and like, and do share this video as maximum possible. I would love to get your comments so that I come up with a lot of new topics, and this is my passion. Bharatiya Gyan Parampara is a subject which is I have dedicated my life through this channel. And do watch this video, do comment, and do share, and that will be my motivation for you. Om Tat Sat. May God bless all of you. Thank you.